Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, as usual, you know I have to invite everybody into this terrific community. This is the best community on these internet streets. And of course, I want to share it with everyone who wants to be a part of it. So listen, look in your settings, look around, find that subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. I promise you, you will not regret it because listen, we are the bomb.com over here. We really, really are. And while you're still in your settings, hit the notification bell too so you'll know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. I'm telling you, dog walking it. Dog walking. Y'all are doing what you need to do with those thumbs up. And I thank you so very much. Also, I want to thank all the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Listen, y'all are doing the doggone thing too. Y'all are doing such a great job. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, in the corner over there, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I'll be so grateful. So thankful, so over the moon appreciative. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, look over in the other corner. You see those three little dots? Click that little dot and you will see thanks. That's the super thanks button. And all donations to the channel will always, always be greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some super thanks because I hadn't did it in a while. So we have quite a few because y'all are so good to me. That is the reason why. Y'all are so good to me. And first up is my girl, Lorna Williams. She is everything. When I say she is everything, she is everything. She has been with me for a good little while now. And I'm telling you, I don't know what I would do without her at this point because Lorna knows so much. She knows way more than I do about that family over there. And she is one of the readers that I depend on when I don't know something that's going on with that family or the history of that family. I can always depend on Lorna to come through and let me know if I'm right, if I'm wrong, or if it's something I need to know. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Lorna. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. It means everything. And next up is Kino Ajori. Kino, you are everything. You are a ride or die. You have come in and absolutely become a huge part of this community. And I'm so grateful to have you. I mean, you are everything and you know it. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being here. And Yulette has come through. She is pretty new to our community, but let me tell you, Yulette has come through in so many ways. She is becoming a ride or die. She is everything. And she is always in the comments and dropping the knowledge that needs to be dropped. Let me tell you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Yulette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. Also, Kevin Slams. Kevin is a ride or die. Kevin is so funny. He just brings the humor to this community. He is such a valued part of this community. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. Also, Annette Sweat. Annette has been with me since the beginning, and I'm telling you, never ever have wavered in her support for the read. She has always been down with the read since day one. And all I can say is I don't deserve her. She is so terrific. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Annette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Ella Gully. Ella Gully is a ride or die. Ella is everything. Ella is such a huge part of this community. She came in and let me tell you, she has become such a vital part. I can depend on Ella. I'm telling you, I look in the comments and I look for Ella, and you know what? There she is. She is there, and I am just so happy, so thrilled to have a ride or die like Ella. And Patricia Smith, another ride or die, always coming through, always being there. I look for Patricia and there she is. She is always there, always supporting the read, always down with the read. So lucky to have her. I am so lucky to have all of y'all. I really am. And listen, I'm going to play this and we're going to talk on the other side. All right, y'all. I want to give another quick shout out to Lorna Williams, Kino Najari, to Eulette, Kevin Slims, Annette Sweat, Ella Gully, and Patricia Smith. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Thank you for really believing in this channel and just supporting it. Put your money where your mouth is, and it is so appreciated. And y'all are just everything. Y'all are everything. Y'all make this channel what it is. And I am so, so thankful. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. And most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets. And let me tell you, that's exactly where I have been. I have been in these internet streets, and it's some interesting things going on. Now, they are still burning the house down over there across the pond when it comes to Andrew, because it seems like they are digging around on Charles. Now, I don't know if this is coming from Willie's camp, but yeah, they're starting to bring up Jimmy Savile. And boy, was he a vicious, evil human being. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But wow, and Charles associated himself with this man for 20 years. 20 years, and sought his advice about things. No wonder Charles was making such horrible decisions like, maybe, allegedly, my belief, getting rid of his beautiful wife. I'm just saying. But Charles was his friend, so we're going to talk about that. And boy, it's going to blow you away. And we're going to talk about our prince. Yes, he has popped up. Harry is booked and busy, and he is going to be in Canada in a few days, and we're going to talk about that. We just have quite a few things to talk about. And also, I want to say this. We're going to talk about how dirty they did Megan. When Megan started her company, talking about she was selling out the royal family, and it was so beneath them to, you know, make money, an honest living. Evidently, it was just beneath them, and how they talked about her just selling jams, pots of jam. Y'all remember that? Well, it looked like it was somebody who was really selling the royal family out, making money off of their titles. And we're going to talk about that because this is a huge story over there across the pond. I mean, all of the skeletons are starting to fall out of the closet. And let me tell you this, The closet seems to be very, very full of bones. That's all I'm going to say. But let's get started. We're going to start with Harry because y'all know I love Harry. I do. I love everything about Harry. And I'm going to put this up. And look at this, breaking. His Royal Highness Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, will travel to Canada this week for a series of engagements. Yes, our boy is booked and busy, and I love it. I love everything about it. You know why? Because I'm petty. I'm petty and I'm messy. Because y'all know who is down there in Brazil trying to pretend like he's Harry and Meghan, never even gave a thought to South America until Meghan and Harry went to Colombia, and all of a sudden Earth Flop is in South America. But I digress. Yeah, like I said, y'all know I'm petty and I'm messy, and I'm so happy that Harry pays him no deference. He goes along with his life as if he does not exist. So Harry is going to be out and about this week. He is. And I just love it. I love it for Harry and I love it for Earthflop and Willie. Yes. Y'all, I'm in a petty mood. I'm in a petty mood. And this squatty posted about it and said, Prince Harry's in Canada November the 5th. Prince Harry will attend engagements to support the Canadian Armed Forces and veteran charities. Yes, yes, yes. I cannot wait. Y'all know I love Harry. I love when Harry is out and about. And it says the Duke will also attend a private lunch hosted by True Patriot Love Foundation and fundraiser for Halo Trust charities. Yes, he is going to be in Canada. And I'm going to put this one up. And of course, People Magazine had to write an article about it because if any one of those royals sneeze, including Harry and Meghan, or article in People has to be published. It just has to be. And this is what People said. And of course, they would take the petty road. And they say Prince Harry announced Canada trip overlapping with Prince William's biggest royal week in Brazil. Now, I say I'm petty. I say I'm messy, but I am not a news entity. I am not a news organization or entertainment news organization as People Magazine is. I think this is egregious. I mean, this is something that we should talk about on social media, on these internet streets. No entertainment news organization should be stirring the pot like this. This is ridiculous to me. How ridiculous of a news organization you have to be to continue to pit two brothers against one another when the other brother clearly could care less about what the one down there in Brazil has going on. Harry should not and will not put his life on hold just because Willie has something going on. And for you to write about this, I just think it is absolutely journalistic malpractice. That's my thoughts because why are you doing this? What is your point? Harry has a right to his life. Harry has a right to his schedule. He can do whatever he wants to. He left that family. He left it. So why should he be required to show William any deference? When has Willie ever shown Harry any deference? Every time Harry is over there in the United Kingdom, those people go and run and chase down people in order for them to have an engagement. At the same time, Harry is in country. So you can miss me completely with this nonsense and try to apply things to Harry that you're not applying to that family over there because it is absolutely ridiculous. Harry owes them nothing. Zero. Nada. End of story. And he especially do not owe really anything. The man who has gone completely out of his way on numerous occasions and have tried to destroy him and his family. So miss me, People Magazine, with your nonsense. I'm just saying. Now, this is what people said. Squatty posted it. I didn't even go over there to give them a click to find out what they said in this article, but Squatty posted this, so I'm going to read it. It says, on November 6th, Prince Harry will visit the Veterans Center at Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center. The hub is one of Canada's largest care facilities for veterans and provide long-term complex hospital care for over 150 veterans from World War II and the Korean War. Yeah, so Harry will be over there doing what he loves, and that is shining a light on the veterans. I love it. And of course, those rags over there, of course, those flying monkeys feel like everything that Harry is doing is somehow their business when Harry doesn't even live over there anymore. Harry doesn't associate with anything that has anything to do with them. Now, Harry loves the people of the UK, but he wants nothing to do with the flying monkeys, but yet and still they cannot help themselves. I saw posts from Roy Nicka, I saw posts from Victoria Ward, and of course, now some of them were straightforward. You know, the one from Victoria Ward was straightforward, just reporting that Harry was going to be in Canada and what he was going to be up to. And Roy Nicka, same thing, except they just failed to leave out one little fact, just one fact that they forgot to put in their post, and that would be Harry was invited. Harry was invited. He's not just appearing out of thin air. He is not just showing up. They invited him, but they don't want people to know that. They want people to think that Harry and Meghan is unwanted. Everywhere they go, they don't want them. They just show up. These people are ridiculous. And we know that they're ridiculous because anybody who would think it was a good idea to run off the goose that lays the golden eggs is ridiculous, because Harry and Meghan, they were the bangers. They were. And look at that family now. You see exactly who was propping up who. Harry propped that whole institution up, him and the Queen. And after those two left, one died, one moved to a whole different continent. They have been in nothing but disarray. It is proof right there. And like I have said time and time again, it is going to get worse. But yet and still, here they are trying to still manipulate the public about Harry. And it has not worked so far. And it's my bet that it will never work. The only thing that's going to continue is the unmasking of that family. The British public is going to see that family laid out bare for what they are. It is just a matter of time that everything that has been covered up will be revealed. And we are just at the tip of the iceberg. I'm just saying. And of course, Maureen had to come in with his nonsense. And listen what he said. He said, what a coincidence! On the day of Prince William's important visit to Brazil, Prince Harry announced that he's making a foreign visit of his own to Canada for Remembrance Sunday related events. Well, my whole thing is, why do you care? Why do anybody over there care? You have your royal family and look like Canada has theirs. because I don't see Canada inviting any of the left behinds to come to their Remembrance Day. And also, y'all didn't want Harry. Y'all didn't even want his wreath to be laid. You remember that? No, they didn't want Harry to even lay a wreath. When he first left, even the Queen refused to lay his wreath. They refused it. So, why are you so bothered? Why are you so triggered? I mean, y'all threw him away. The world picked him up. So, leave him alone. At the end of the day, you didn't want him. And so now you're bothered because the rest of the world does. And a squatty came up under his post and said this: if William's visit to Brazil was so important, why are you only talking about it now in relations to Harry? Exactly. It's all about Harry. Harry, Harry, Harry. They can't say anything without adding Harry's name to it. And it says, if William's visit to Brazil was so important, why didn't the Rhoda who are traveling with William tweet about Harry? Yes, why are you tweeting about Harry and you're in Brazil? Like Roy Nika is on this trip with William. Why is she tweeting about Harry? Harry doesn't have anything to do with that family over there, and he definitely doesn't have anything to do with those flying monkeys. But they just can't keep Harry's name out of their mouths. They can't. And speaking of not being able to keep Harry's name out of their mouths, look at this. This was the front page of the Scum for Sunday. Yes, do you see what it says? It says Harry backs Andy's ex, saying that Harry is backing the king. See where it says Prince supports king. They want the only member of that family that has a legitimate reputation anymore for telling the truth and standing up for the truth to back Charles. You think this right here wasn't planned by Buckingham Palace? Because they know Charles needs Harry. But Charles made his choices. He did. And all he has left now is his dirty, dirty deeds, his horse, and an heir that wants his job. And we all know how he gets that job. We all know how he gets it. And at this point, he has no qualms in it being that way. Willie has no qualms when it comes to Charles getting on that train to glory, punching the ticket and riding off in the sunset. And so here Charles is grasping to Harry, trying to use Harry as usual to prop him up, to reinforce him, because he knows he has SHIT and fell back in it. That's what my grandmother used to say. Say you shit and fell back in it. And that's exactly what Charles has done. He has shit and fell back in it. Because now Charles is very weak. His position as king is very weak. People are starting to, pull receipts of all the deeds he have done prior to this, with Andrew. And he's weak. And now he wants to use Harry as usual to prop himself up, to give him some kind of legitimacy. And this guy named Peter, I guess he's a royal, I don't know who he is, but he has the nerve to try to slight Harry. And knowing too, Harry would never, ever have anything to do with the Scum. This is a planted story from Buckingham Palace, trying to show that Harry supports his dad. And they know that Harry has nothing to do with any of this, so they want to try to pull him into it. This is all this is, trying to pull Harry into their mess. If I was Harry, I would stay so far away from those people. But this Peter says this: Harry backs Andy's acts. And it says hashtag tomorrow newspapers today. And it says, does anyone cares? Anyone? Well, evidently you do, because you made a post of it. Now this is kind of off subject, but this is what gets really on my nerves when I see posts like this about Harry and Meghan. We don't care what you think, or and they talk all kinds of negativity and talk about they don't care about Harry and Meghan, but yet and still they're so bothered to the point where they do a whole post. I don't post about people that I don't care anything for. I mean, it is ridiculous. It really, really is. But a squatty reposted this and said, your mother rocked you too close to the wall, I'm afraid. Squatties are second to none when it comes to shade. But I digress. You have to be extremely dim to believe the son, which Harry is suing, has anything in terms of reliability or true information about or from Harry. Go drink some water. And I'll add to, go drink some water out of the Thames River. How about that? Yes, go drink some of that water, that the sewers have emptied into. You do that. But I love this squatty. I love it. And I definitely love that part where she says, your mother rocked you too close to the wall. The shade, the shade. But Harry would never. But it's not Harry, it's Buckingham Palace. They are grasping at straws because they know that they are at the precipice of slipping down the drain. They know they are at the very, very tip of the iceberg when it comes to everything that could come out when it comes to that family. They're scared to death. And I love it for them. And now Charles is grasping and trying to hold on and use Harry as a life preserver to try to hold on to Harry in order for Harry to rescue him, to save him from himself, because everything that has happened to this family has been self inflicted. But now they want Harry to back him up. Stop it. And another squatty posted about this article and said, I actually read the article and it ends with a spokesman for Harry declining to comment. Don't believe everything you read, kids. Well, we knew this. We knew Harry would never speak to the scum, and he would never involve himself into anything that's going on with that family over there, that pile of heaping you know what in a dumpster fire called Andrew. Harry is not going to involve himself in that, nor his family. He doesn't want anything to do with that. That is the reason why squatties are laughing out loud at the Rangers. I mean, cackling, just absolutely throwing themselves on the floor and rolling when these ugly old hags are out here on these internet streets talking about taking Harry and Meghan's titles. Like, that is such a big flex. Like, squatties are supposed to care about that. Why would our faves want to be associated with that shit show of a family over there that's circling the drain? I mean, just circling and circling and circling, about to slip down the drain. Somehow, Harry and Meghan wants to hold on to titles with that dumpster fire of a bunch. All we say is take the titles and do Harry and Meghan a favor, because all it's going to do is make them even more popular. But yes, they have the nerve to be out here with their fevered minds believing that somehow we're supposed to care. I cannot say it without laughing, y'all. It is just too funny. These spirit-minded old hags. I can't. And I'm going to put this up. And this is the reason why I feel that all of a sudden we're starting to get stories planted by Buckingham Palace that Harry is in support of his father when it comes to Andrew, trying to pull Harry into it because Harry is the only member of that family that still has his honor intact. And so, of course, Charles is going to try to leech off of that. And that's all it's about because we all know Charles, and people are starting to look into the history of Charles and his friendships with pedos. He was friends with that priest who abused all those young boys. And he absolutely took up for him at one time when there was inquiries about him. And his uncle, Lord Mountbatten, he was absolutely eventually shown to be a monster and abused young boys as well. Well, look at this. I did not know this about Jimmy Savile. Now, I have heard his name bounced around quite a bit, but to really know the heinous acts that this man perpetrated on special needs young girls, and he also participated in necrophilia. And yes, you heard it right. This is a man who they say would have sex with dead corpse. And this was Charles's friend for 20 years. This was just not someone he met, fly by night. Oh, how you doing? No, they were best friends. They hung out together. Charles asked him for advice, and Charles cloaked for him, tried to take up for him when all of this started to come out. Now, look at this. This particular squatty went and found this article about Jimmy Savile, and she said, I just found the article. What the actual F? Charles and Jimmy Savile was best friends for over 20 years. And look what it says. Savile told hospital staff he performed sex acts on corpses in Leeds mortuary. And look at the bottom where it says one former Broadmoor nurse told investigators that Savile claimed to have performed sex acts on bodies and mucked about in the mortuary, posing in photographs with the deceased. Now, this is a scandal, but yet and still they want us to believe that he is so shocked, so just put aback by Andrew's behavior. Get out of here, Charles. Get out of here. This family is a disgrace. But yet and still, they want to try to pretend like it's Harry and Meghan. It's Harry and Meghan. Get out of here. These people have done some things and associated with people who have done some horrendous things. Can you imagine if Harry had a best friend that was accused of and said that he had sexual relations with a corpse? Can you imagine that? But that's exactly what Charles did. And we look at Andrew, and it's no telling what Willie Leaks has done, and they are absolutely covering it up. But can you imagine this? This was Charles's friend for 20 years. It's shocking to me. It's shocking to me. And they said over 500 young girls who had special needs, he would come there, pick them up, and abuse them. And it is a video out there where Angela Levin is pretty much saying she knew about it. These people don't care about anything except being adjacent to that family over there. They'll let them do anything. Can you imagine all of this that has come out, can you imagine what they have that hasn't came out? Can you imagine what has not came out about that family? That family is rotten to the core, and I am so glad that Harry and Meghan got away from there, and I'm so happy that they're being exposed. Their holier than thou attitude towards Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan. And Meghan and Harry are more virtuous than any of them could ever be. I love it. I love it for them. All I can say is, I want more. I want to see more. And drag this up. Drag this up about this was Charles's friend. And don't, like I said, don't forget the priest and his uncle. I mean, how is he the king of the United Kingdom? I mean, it blows my mind. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty posted about this whole relationship between Charles and Jimmy Savile as well, and posted some old articles. Look where it says Jimmy Savile abused at least 500 children. New research claims 500 children. And this squatty said, excuse me, does that say 500 children? 500. Oh my God. And as you can see, it says Prince Charles lead tribute to Jimmy Savile. You cannot tell me that Prince Charles and the royal family didn't know who this man was. They knew who he was. They knew who Andrew was. They chose not to do anything about it. I mean, this is who these people are. This is supposed to be the ideal family. Well, if this is the ideal family, I don't want to see one that's just regular degular, because it must be a full-on nightmare. Can you imagine this? Knowing that this man is hurting this many children and you are his friend for 20 years. The squatter came up under this said they all knew it was an open secret. Angela 11 is a pedo enabler told us. Yes, it is a video out there of Angela 11 admitting that they knew who this person was and what he was doing. And they kind of pushed back and said, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you say something? She never said a word. There is so many of them knew the monster this human being was. Look at the nurses and all of them that was in this mortuary, in this morgue. And he was down there having sex with the corpse. And nobody said anything. Why? Because he was best friend with the Prince of Wales. Because he was in good with that family. Nobody said nothing. And this squatter goes on to say, Devil Levin is so brave now, creating and knowingly spreading lies about the melanated royals, but when she knew old, young, living, dead people was without disability, without disabilities were being abused, she was afraid. Now they can speak on Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, with no fear because of that family over there. That family has given it their stamp of approval. But this man was doing all this stuff and they never said a word. That's why you don't have any kind of weight with me. None of them does. You get no deference. You get no respect from me because this is who these people are. They are. Harry is the only one. The only one that comes out of that family is worth anything. And that's just fact. It is. And if you don't know that, then that says more about you than it does about Harry. I mean, can you imagine knowing that this monster was walking around and continuing to hurt people and was just fine with it? I cannot, y'all. I cannot. Also, y'all, I want to talk about this. This came out yesterday as well. It looks like Andrew was doing everything that they accused Harry and Meghan of doing. He was doing everything that the Queen said that she did not want Harry and Meghan to do. And that was to use their titles for profit. But yet and still, here her son was doing exactly the same thing. I mean, the level of hypocrisy that runs all the way through that family from the proper queen on down. Can you believe that? Yeah, I'm sure you can believe that, because if you're a squatter, you know how absolutely trash that family is. And we are finding out more and more about how bad they really were. They are even worse than we even imagined them to be, if you can believe that. Look at this. It says breaking via BBC. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, arranged a private tour of Buckingham Palace while the late Queen was in residence, meaning she was there at Buckingham Palace when he did this. It says for a businessman from a cryptocurrency mining firm that agreed to pay his ex-wife Sarah, the former Duchess of York, up to 1.4 million pounds. Meghan and Harry ain't did nothing like that. Harry and Meghan has done nothing. Nothing. Like Byron says, have not put a foot wrong since they left that family. Have not did anything to disgrace that family. But yet and still they want to say Harry and Meghan is the problem when they do nothing but disgrace themselves. He gave this person from this cryptocurrency mining firm a tour of Buckingham Palace and got 1.4 million pounds out of it. I cannot. It says the company employed Sarah Ferguson as a brand ambassador for a crypto mining scheme that would lose investors millions when it failed less than a year later. Can y'all believe that? What if Harry and Meghan did some nonsense like this and then people ended up losing their life savings, losing their investments? Oh my goodness. Harry would have been stripped of everything and absolutely just, they probably would have stoned him in the middle of London. I mean, they would have absolutely crucified him. But look at what Andrew and Fergie was doing, and they did it when the Queen was in residence. And you cannot tell me them folks didn't know about that. They knew about that. And it says the video of the man entering the palace grounds was taken by one of the men. The palace was not open for the public tours when the private tour took place. Yeah, that's what they were up to. And the Queen was right there, right there. They were getting money hand over fist because they were a member of that family and their titles. They were using their royal status for profit. But yet and still, they wanted to say something when Meghan created her own brand, her own business. And as ever does not have anything to do with that family. It's not as ever by the Duchess of Sussex. No, it's just as ever. But these people right here, they were using their royal connections and their royal titles for financial gain. But yet and still, the whole time this was going on, they were leaking right and left to those rags over there, smearing Harry and Meghan, talking about Netflix. They got Netflix cameras. Meghan got a Netflix camera in her dress and all kinds of nonsense like that. And this particular squatty posted that same article from the BBC, well, the same post from the BBC, and said, this is what cashing in on royal connections is. Using your monogram on your personal stationery isn't. Now, what this particular squatty is talking about is that Megan posted a Insta story on the As Ever website. And Megan did an Insta story and it featured one of her spreads. I think it was one of her spreads. And over in the far corner of this Insta story was Megan's stationery that had her personal monogram on it. And they lost their SHIT about that. All of the ugly old hags, all of the derangers, all of the flying monkeys, all of them just lost it because they said Megan was cashing in on her royal titles. Not understanding is that's who she is, that's her name. But I digress. Yes, they wanted to try to make a big deal out of that, saying that she was using her royal connections to make a profit. Yes, saying just because it was in a shot, her monogram was in one shot, she should somehow be banished from this earth because she was using her royal connections for a profit, for a business, for a commercial use. Well, little did they know, just a few days later, it was going to come out to show that Fergie and Andrew really were the ones using their royal connections for financial gain. Yes, they said, hold our beer. Let us show you how this is done. Can you imagine getting 1.4 million pounds for one tour, one private tour, while the Queen was in residence? Now, you can't say you didn't know because the Queen was in residence. You think that they just let anybody in when the Queen is in residence? They knew exactly what was going on and they let it happen while they were leaking and planning stories about Harry and Meghan. Stop it. Stop it right now. It is getting too good. I don't know how to handle it because they are being showed up for the frauds that they are, for the mediocres, for the subpar individuals that they are. These people should never, ever be shown any kind of deference. No one should ever bow to them because these people are just upscale grifters. That's it. Just absolutely upscale grifters. And isn't it funny that these people were grifting and the whole time they were accusing Harry and Meghan for making a legitimate living and called them grifters? I mean, if it wasn't so diabolical, it would be funny. I kid you not. It would be hilarious. All right, y'all, I want to put this up. And this particular squatty posted Prince Andrew giving $1.4 million tours of Buckingham Palace is wild. But you know what's even more scandalous? Flower sprinkles. Yes, flower sprinkles. And y'all remember with all of their faux outrage, how they pretended that Meghan's business, the flower sprinkles, the jam, all of that was just going to be the end of the monarchy because somehow Meghan running a legitimate business just like the one at Highgrove was going to somehow cheapen the brand of the monarchy. What a joke. Was that not a joke? I mean, they're cheapening their own brand. They're being exposed for who they are. And boy, it is not a good look. And if anybody is bringing down the monarchy, it's them, not Harry and Meghan. I'm just saying. I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty posted this about Sarah and Andrew. And they said Sarah and Andrew was welcome back, front and center in the royal family. The palace, the courtiers, Charles, Will knew exactly who they were. Their ginger prince isn't petty enough. If it was me, I would be posting cryptic social media posts. This is Sarah selling stuff on US television. But yet and still, they wanted to pretend like it was Meghan cheapening the brand when these people have done nothing but cheapen the brand. And that's just not Andrew and Fergie. It's Charles. It's Willie. It's all of them. Look at the whores. Come on now. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then Kitty Cat sitting up there pretending like she has cancer and everybody can figure it out. I mean, this is them doing it to themselves and trying to blame Harry and Meghan for it. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to put this up. This was in the Daily Express. And they're still trying to sell that old narrative that Harry and Meghan is the ones that bringing down the monarchy. No, baby. It's not Harry and Meghan. It's not as ever. It is the character of that family over there. And it is there for everyone to see, shining bright like the lights on Broadway. They are still trying to peddle that nonsense. Look what the Daily Express had the audacity to print. It says Queen Elizabeth II would be turning in her grave as Meghan attempts to cash in on the monarchy again. Like as ever is named the monarchy or has any kind of connection to that family over there. Why would Meghan want to? Because that family has proven to be the biggest trash family over there on the continent of Europe. I mean, all the other royal families cannot hold a candle to the slime of the British royal family. I'm just saying. And look what this particular squatty came up under and said. What about Peter Phillips, Princess Anne's son, selling milk in Asia? A reminder, Meghan was a famous actress before she married Harry. Peter wasn't, and neither was Charles or Fergie. All of the all of whom have used their royal connections to sell crap. So shut up already. Exactly. Exactly. That's all they do. Peter and Zara and all of them use their royal connections, but somehow Meghan can't use hers and she's not using hers. Meghan was a famous actress before she married Harry, and as ever is not named in any kind of way in association with that family. So stop it. It would be different if it was the Duchess of Sussex Jam or something like that, because that's the way Fergie did. Fergie used her titles on her products and her books. So stop it already, like this squatty says. And look at this. This squatty posted this is a repost, and the original post posted a article from the Daily Fail, and looks like Peter Phillips' business is in trouble. It says, talk of the town, more royal woes as Princess Anne's son Peter files to dissolve company behind his annual horse festival at Gatcombe Park. And this particular squatter that posted it said, this article illustrates how three of Peter Phillips' companies are in debt, yet we are led to believe that him and Zara are extremely successful. And yeah, so successful that they live off of their mother. They live on the property of their mothers. You know, that Zara and that meathead husband of hers doesn't have any money. If he had money, why is he going on, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here? They needed that money. They are not fooling me. And the squatty that reposted this said, this keeps proving more and more that having royal connections is not a recipe for success. Peter Phillips bankrupt three companies. Yes, they are jealous of Harry and Meghan's success. I'm going to say that again. They are jealous of Harry and Meghan's success. Nobody has come out of that family and been as successful as Harry and Meghan. They have not. And that is the reason why they want to try to turn it on Harry and Meghan and pretend like somehow they're using their royal connections. Well, now that they have thoroughly just embarrassed themselves, I don't think anybody wants to use those royal connections anymore. Who wants to say you're related to those people? The ones who protects pedos. I'm just saying. And I'm going to switch gears a little bit because I want to talk about how Willie and Charles, how they have tussled back and forth trying to take the credit for dealing with Andrew and his situation. But I saw this and I said, well, looky, 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 someone else has entered the chat. And it is McMumbles has absolutely been briefing and got this put in the paper. It says Kate Middleton was instrumental in stripping. I cannot even read it with a straight face, y'all. Stripping Prince Andrew of his titles. Source. Yes, source is Carol Middleton. That's who it is. Source is Carol Middleton. Nobody but. If not Kitty Cat herself. I cannot. Not Kitty Cat done entered the chat. And this particular squatter commented on that and said, I'm waiting for a headline on how the late Queen Corgis, Prince Louis, and the Gardners were all instrumental in pushing Andrew, pushing Andrew out. I am too. I am too. I see Louis. Louis has a pretty strong look to him. I'm sure he played a role in this, and those corgis can never be trusted. They absolutely pushed Andrew out. I cannot, y'all. I can't. But let me tell you this, Charles has started to push back. William has tried to take the credit. Now, Kitty Cat is trying to take the credit. The Queen's corgis maybe trying to take the credit. But Charles has had enough of it. He is leaking to the media that it was him. It was him. So I want to play this really quick. This is from the lady from News Agents. I forgot her name. She's the one that did the interview with Andrew that really got the ball rolling to his demise. So I'm going to put this up. I'm going to put a picture of her up, and I just want you to listen to this.
Something, to be honest, that I had not properly understood, and I think many in the media had not properly understood, was that Prince William was not actually the one driving this. We'd all understood that the real sort of heft of this move came from Prince William. I was told last night that it is Prince William actually who's most concerned about the state of his uncle's mental health, something that he takes very seriously. His work, Kate's work, has been very close to the issues of mental health.
So what do y'all think about that? Well, we all know William didn't do anything, but Charles is putting it out there that William didn't do anything. And also, this whole thing about William being concerned over his uncle's mental health. Now, I don't believe that either. I believe this is a ploy to try to pull on the heartstrings of the public, to get them to feel sorry for Andrew, and in return, to get them to let up off of the rest of the family who knew everything that was going on. They are trying to get their butts out of this crack, and they want to make Andrew into this sympathetic figure, someone that, the public can feel sorry for, the taxpayer can feel sorry for, and in return, you will feel sorry for them. They have to deal with this. Yeah, I believe it's all a ploy at this point. And this squatty, this is a repost, and the original post said this: the fact that these two individuals who's caused so much harm to other people's mental health have the nerve to pose as mental health champions will never stop astonishing me. Some people really are shameless. Exactly. Exactly. They're trying to rework the narrative that they were going off of is not quite working. People don't have the sympathy for them or Andrew. So now they're using the mental health card. I was wondering what card they were going to use. I thought they were going to use the dementia card for the horse, but looks like they have decided on the mental health card. Yeah. And the squatty that reposted this said, spot on. There is nothing more shameless than using the vital cause of mental health campaigning as a shield while simultaneously inflicting harm. The lack of self awareness is truly astonishing. Hypocrisy always undermines the message. Where is the lie? Where is it? I mean, this story, this narrative has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. Anybody can see through this nonsense. They are trying to switch it up because the way it was going, it was not working. And what do? They go for the mental health card. I should have saw it coming. Like I said, I thought it was going to be the dementia card, but no, it is the mental health card. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this right here is nothing except these people hate the fact that Harry and Meghan continues to thrive while that family over there continues to circle the drain. I don't know why when that family is having difficulties, that family is suffering self-inflicted wounds that somehow they think Harry and Meghan's life is supposed to go on full stop. I don't understand it. Look what the Daily Fail posted. I think it was a couple of days ago, if not the day before yesterday. I don't know when exactly it was, but it was really when the flames were burning really hot over there that family was absolutely being exposed for what it was. Someone who covered up and cloaked for a pedo. I kid you not. They had the audacity, they had the audacity to run a story, which we should not be surprised. But they did this. It says another blunder for Meghan. The Duchess shared picture of herself grinning broadly as news of Andrew ousted from the royal family broke before quickly deleting it. Now, I don't know if Megan deleted this picture or not. I have saw it all over my timeline. It is a beautiful picture. But they absolutely hate to see Harry and Meghan happy in the wake of these people's self-inflicted wounds. Harry and Meghan had nothing to do with this. Meghan is running her business. This is part of her business. This was on as ever Instagram page. Why in the world could she not post about her business? Because she is minding her business, but they cannot stand it. They cannot stand at the end of the day, Harry and Meghan has won. They won. They were right. They are on the right side of history. They won. But since Harry and Meghan are not hiding out in a cave, so these people across the pond didn't feel bad about themselves, then they want to attack Meghan. It's ridiculous. I cannot. And I'm going to post what this squatty said about it. This is why they posted this article, this nonsense article out of the fail, like Megan cannot continue her business because these people are imploding. It's ridiculous. This squatty said, how the F is Megan the problem? Megan is better than me because I would be posting, twerking, laughing my head off. Them efforts used her for years as a scapegoat. They protected him while they were bashing her daily just to protect him and others. F them all. That's the way I feel about it. How in the world do they think Megan is supposed to exist, they still want her to shrink herself. They still want them to live in a cave. It hurts their feelings that they have not been able to destroy them. It hurts their feelings that Harry and Meghan continue to thrive. It hurts them that that family is just absolutely disintegrating right in front of their faces. their bread and butter is actually about to slip down the drain, and they mad because Megan and Harry continue to win. They chose the wrong horse and they are paying for it, and they mad about it. They are mad about it. But they have no one to blame except themselves. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this one up. This was in TMZ. It's Harry and Meghan out trick or treating. I posted it because it's Harry and Meghan and not the kids. But yes, they were out trick or treating. And let me tell you, the Rangers almost lost their minds. They did. And look what they did. And this was their response. They put up a picture that they say is Kitty Cat and the children, and as you can see, these are very young children, but they had to come back and say, well, this was a picture when they were young kids and they were out knocking on doors doing trick or treat. Now, this particular squatty said that the Rangers are busy reposting this BS. Does the UK wear does the UK wear costumes though? Yeah, where is the costumes? Where is the costume? If this is them out trick or treating, where's the costume? It says so relatable, so down to earth to go trick or treating wearing ordinary clothes and standing outside of the gate building, knocking on doors, my backside. Exactly. But they have to absolutely cling to something because even on Halloween, Harry and Meghan seems to outdo the Left Behind. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I want to share some of my favorite Halloween pictures that I found on these internet streets, and they all come from Paris. Look at this first one. I mean, wow. I guess they projected it into the clouds or something, but boy, is that not amazing? Oh my goodness. And then look at this one. I guess they had this on the side of a building and they were doing a ballet. I mean, nobody does it better than the French. I'm telling you. And it is amazing. It looks like it's not far from the Eiffel Tower. Now, I have a brother who lives in France. He lives outside of Paris, and oh wow, I have to go. It's on my bucket list to go visit him. I haven't to this point, but I definitely plan on doing it. And look at this one. Oh my goodness. Paris did Halloween up right, didn't they? I don't know. It's a like a pyramid. I don't know if all of this is projection, what it is, but gosh, it is amazing. And look at this one with the witches walking on stilts. Amazing again, just amazing. And look at this one. Oh, this is what one squatty said their favorite Halloween costume is. It says, some people don't need costumes for Halloween. They're scary as they is. They would say they're scary as is. Yes, yes, yes. That right there, that creature scammy. Woo! She is frightening. All right, y'all. Y'all knew I had to be a little messy at the end. Yes, I did. I'm telling you, that's scammy. Woo! All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.